Ladies and gentlemen of Medium Difficulty Podcast Nation, welcome to episode 11. 11, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah,
I think it is 11. I have it in my stream title, but it's episode 11 regardless. So this week we're going to be doing a Game of Thrones special due to the lack of games coming out this week and Game of Thrones hype starting next week. I am joined here as always by Jim.
Howdy doody.
And Sean.
What up?
And obviously, you guys know me, Spider Stags, Andrew, same thing. All right. I guess to start this off, on a scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you guys for Game of Thrones?
11.
12.
Okay, well, I see what it is, Jim. That's cool.
All right. So I think the first question to start this is who do you guys want to sit on the Iron Throne at the end of next season, and why?
Obviously, Jon Snow.
Yeah, I think so.
I guess they all have like kind of their own underdog story going on there, but I always had a vibe for Jon Snow. He was one of my favorite characters from the start. And I mean, obviously, like you're learning about his bloodline in the last season. I definitely think he has the best claim and deserves the Iron Throne.
Yeah.
No, I definitely agree with that. I can't really disagree with anything you said. Like, I'm trying to spark a conversation out of it, but no, I agree. I mean, Daenerys would be fine too, but I would just rooting for him like the entire series.
I mean, she's also a great person to root for too. I mean, she also the ultimate underdog. I mean, she went from basically being sold at the very beginning, like in the very first episode of the show, to now being queen of all the isles and stuff like that. Has 3 dragons, like crazy cool.
So for me, it's Jon Snow as well. Jon Snow's 100% my favorite character. But in order to give it a little bit of a different character as well, I'm gonna go with Arya. I grew to love her as a character throughout the entire process. Do I think she has a chance? No, I don't think there's no way that she ends up on the Iron Throne. But in terms of who I would want to see, she would be my runner-up after Jon Snow, just because of her character growth, and I just fell in love with her as a character. I think she's pretty badass. And after all she's been through, she's kind of been through a lot of the same stuff that Jon Snow, the trials and tribulations of her kind of life after witnessing Ned get his head sliced off. So just a lot of the similarities between story development between both those characters. I feel like it makes for an interesting case as well.
Arya is definitely like one of the also another great character who had a great arc like coming up, like you said, like with the witnessing her dad being beheaded and then fighting her way through, wanting to kill, like he has like making the list, making her way up the list of who of the people she's killing. I mean, she's had a great arc and she's been fun to watch. Obviously, she's definitely a fan favorite.
Yeah. No, I didn't really like her like in the first season. Like I found her story like it was good, but like she was almost kind of like between her and like Sansa. Like I didn't like Sansa, but like just I was actually more concerned with like Bran's story because like he got pushed off the roof by like Jaime and that whole dynamic, and I thought Bran's story was going to be a lot deeper than what it turned out to be, because I mean I don't know, I only read the first book and part of the second one, like I haven't read all of them, but like I just felt like his story kind of fell by the wayside compared to Arya's, and like hers just kept getting better where his was kind of boring for me.
Well, his is I mean, there's definitely, and he's playing an important role. His story is definitely more boring. He kind of like plateaued, I believe, in like the 5th or 6th season, maybe, when he was in the cave with the 3-eyed raven, and then he eventually became the 3-eyed raven in that cave too with Hodor and holding the door and all that.
R.I.P. my man.
Yeah, I know. That's where he kind of peaked though. That's definitely where his story arc definitely peaked there. But
yeah, I mean, he definitely can't sit on the Iron Throne because of his role.
Yeah.
He plays a bigger part in everything.
Yes, there's a bigger.
But what do you think like his part's going to be now to play? Because I feel like his part's kind of over with. So like,
Yeah,
Where does he go from here?
I mean,
Well, a lot of it's going to be the whole Danny Jon Snow storyline. He's going to have to play a big part in that. Like, this is what happened. In deciding who the next person to sit on the Iron Throne is, he's gonna have a huge part in deciding that. I think because he knows everything. So who's the rightful heir? He knows, which obviously is Jon Snow at this point.
Yeah.
So I mean, he might be the most crucial part of the next season.
It's true.
So speaking of Jon and Danny, how will they defeat the White Walkers? If you do think they're going to defeat them, how will they defeat them? Or if you don't, then obviously no.
It's got to be some freak thing is going to happen. I mean, like, in season 1, you've seen freak things happen, like when, Daenerys was like, like reborn in fire when they tried to burn her, and she, lived that. And then the Dragon Egg, like some freaky thing, I feel like for Jon Snow is going to happen. I believe that there was a still shot taken from a trailer where his sword's just buried in snow, and I'm like, I feel like maybe White Walkers win the battle, and Jon, like, how he died before, maybe he gets, like, quote unquote killed, but maybe he comes back somehow. I'm not sure. I mean, we're just speculating at this point, but I believe something like kind of freaky thing might happen to the point where.
My theory, just because I'm jumping right into, you're kind of saying what I was going for. I think that something like that might happen, and that's how they reintroduce Melisandre to everybody. She comes back and brings him back, and they're like, "Oh crap! Like, she's good again." Like, not that she's bad, but like,
Yeah, I mean, she's just doing her. Yeah, I know. She's following her own, like, path with, like, the fire god. And,
So maybe that's how they, like, how that all happens, and then the Night King's like, whatever.
Yeah, well, I mean, Melisandre definitely has a role to play. I mean, in the last season 7, she said to Lord Varys that she was like, I have my part to play. I will die in this land, as will you. So I mean, she definitely knows something.
Maybe she kills the Night King.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. I was just going to say, I think they get rid of all the White Walkers. I think it's going to be like, you take out the Night King, they all fall. Like,
probably.
It's going to be like, yeah.
But how do you think the Night King dies?
I think Jon Snow.
It's got to be the final. Like, he's got to deliver the final blow somehow.
Yeah, because I know they have to use the dragon glass and everything like that, and again, like, you guys probably know more about this than me, but like his sword, does it have dragon glass? And it's Valyrian steel, so
Valyrian steel. Yeah, I don't think
it's
only Valyrian steel and dragon glass are the only two things that affect the White Walker.
So I think it's going to be like that sword. His sword is going to.
So I think Samwell Tarly has to come back before then. He knows how to. He's the whole part of what.
He's back. Samwell's back.
Yeah, he's in Winterfell, isn't he?
Oh yeah, he did come back. It was at the end of the season, right?
Yeah.
Yes, it was the last episode, and like as the last episode was ending, he had made it back, and he was talking to Bran, and then that's when Bran's going over the revelation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because what's his face? Tyrion's in Winterfell right now too, right?
No, he's on the. No, Tyrion's on the ship with.
He's with the ship because he was standing there when Jon Snow and Danny were. Which I think season 8 is going to open. They're already going to be in Winterfell.
Yeah.
Jon Snow and Danny and Tyrion and everyone else. Moving on to the next one. Let's see. Who do you think? Or we'll stick with the Starks for a minute. Where do you think Ghost is? Because Ghost is confirmed to come back for the season.
Yeah, Ghost has always been in Winterfell since Jon came back, but I know they cut back on the show cut back on CGI budget for more like dragon fights and stuff like that. That's
what they said. They said they had a scene where he was talking to Ghost after they kill Littlefinger.
Yeah, well they had to cut all that out for budget reasons. But
there's a part where he was talking to him face to face.
Yeah.
So, he's there. He's confirmed to come back for this season. What do you think? Do you think he plays a role in any of the battles?
Probably. I mean, he'll probably end up like the rest of the dire wolves and get killed. But no, I definitely think he'll play his role. Maybe save John.
Yeah, maybe that's what killed. Yeah.
No, again, I agree. You just made me start thinking of Nymeria. Is she still alive? I know that they flashed to her.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't sure if by the books or whatever, if she's supposed to be killed off or.
Well, they're past the books at this point.
Yeah,
So.
Yeah, I wasn't sure in the previous ones, if
the books ended, I believe.
Yeah,
when Jon Snow died.
Yeah,
I think that's what the last book left off as.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know because I know the books though they had more tales of what Nymeria was up to,
mm-hmm.
Without what the show didn't touch on.
I think it was Arya falling asleep and she was having dreams. I think as Nymeria, I think it was right. Yeah.
So I wasn't sure if she was going to make an appearance back too, but yeah, I think Ghost will make an appearance. I think it will be something with the White Walkers, and he'll come and save the day some way with Jon.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I guess we'll move to what probably the next season is going to open with, because they kind of have to address the issue pretty soon because people are starting to find out. How do you think Jon and Daenerys will react to the news of Jon's actual parents?
No, I think this might happen within maybe hopefully within the first episode.
I think it has to. I think that's how the season opens. I think you have to.
I don't know if it's how it opens. I feel like that's like a revelation saved for maybe the end.
Because the only reason I say that is because the scene that they've showed us so far was when they met with Sansa and Arya.
Yeah.
So I don't think they would show us footage from episode 3 or something like that. If they're in Winterfell though, they have to say something because Bran already knows.
Yeah, you're not wrong, but I feel like it's not going to be something that comes up right away. I feel like they're going to be getting right into because episode 3 is the battle.
Yeah,
you got to think
there's only 6 episodes, dude.
Yeah, I know. So they're going to be doing everything they can to prepare for this battle. I feel like it's not going to be something that comes up right away. But we'll see.
I don't know. What do you think?
All speculation.
Because I was actually thinking it would be maybe one of the last things or something like that happens after the battle, and it's just we need to talk about what's going on. But yeah, I'm just trying to think if they were do it first. I mean, to get it out of the way, it would allow more character development between Daenerys and Jon if there is going to be a relationship, because then they know we're cousins or you're my aunt.
Yeah.
You're my aunt and I'm your nephew.
Danny.
Yeah.
So speaking of Danny, do you think there's more dragons?
No, I think it's just the 3, and I think Jon and Danny are going to be able to ride the dragons.
Yeah.
I think we're going to lose. We already lost one of the dragons. It's an ice dragon now.
Yeah, we lost Viserion, and the Night King has Viserion. But I think Rhaegal and Drogon are the only 2 left.
Yeah,
and technically they're male dragons, but the dragons did not have a gender.
Do they produce asexually? I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see if more dragons. I dropped my phone.
There you go.
Technical difficulties.
More dragons produce. I think there's going to be more dragons at some point.
I think
maybe at some point, but
I think the ice dragon and one of the other dragons are going to pretty much they're each going to die, and there's going to be one dragon left at the end of everything. And then maybe we have a dragon egg or something like that they find, But I think we're going to be down to was it Rhaegar or whatever.
It would be even more badass if there was little ice dragon baby dragons.
Yeah, like a combo.
Yeah,
that'd be cool. I mean, it's already cool because Danny's already going to be riding Drogon, and then
Drogon's going to be riding that ice dragon,
who's named after his actual dad, who he didn't know about, which is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure if there'd be more dragons though. I mean, they've been but again, they've been extinct, and then these eggs come out of nowhere. So I mean, who knows?
True.
All right, so leaving the Wall and Winterfell, going to a warmer climate.
Well, the wall's gone. The wall is
Well,
gone.
yeah, but you know what I meant. Leaving that general vicinity.
Andrew, your mic's a little low.
Leaving that general. Even you can't hear me.
Yeah,
It's,
you're low.
it's a little low.
Stop dropping it. You know.
It's a little low. How about now?
I think that's a little better. I think
All right. All right. Let me hold on. Let me move this. Sorry, guys.
Let me check, make sure. Because last time this happened, you went muted on the stream.
No, I'm not muted. I definitely am not muted.
Yeah, you're good.
But all right. Anyway, moving to King's Landing.
Hey, you're good.
Yeah.
Moving to King's Landing. We left with Jamie leaving King's Landing.
Yes.
Where do you think Jamie's going now?
Going to Winterfell, baby. He's keeping his promise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jim.
Yeah. I think he's definitely leaving Cersei. He's not going back.
Well, yeah. I didn't know if you thought he was going to go anywhere else other than Winterfell.
No, I mean maybe he may go past it to see the wall and actually see the White Walkers but he'll make his way back, I think, back to Winterfell. I think that's his ultimate destination.
Now, do you think he gets there before Tyrion?
No. Tyrion will already be there. He's gonna show up. Maybe Tyrion won't even be there by the time Jamie shows up.
This is true.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So when we left off with Jamie and Cersei, part of the reason Jamie was leaving afterwards, and part of what Cersei wanted him to stay, is she said she's pregnant. Do you really think she's pregnant, or do you think it was a bluff to try and get him to stay?
Yeah, I think it's a bluff. I mean, she's always one that's been manipulative. I couldn't see her being pregnant. I mean, Jamie hasn't even been back for that long of a time for her to even know that she was pregnant. They haven't seen each other for a little bit. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
No.
I think she may be, but I think because the fortune teller told her that she was only going to have 3 children.
Yeah.
So I think maybe the other one she may lose in childbirth, or she may be pregnant and get eaten by a White Walker before she even gets to have the 4th.
I think it's a blatant lie. Like I said, she's manipulative. She's been sketchy the whole time. She's kind of similar to what you said. So speaking of Cersei, who's going to take down Cersei? Do you think anyone takes her down?
Now, from what I'm saying, from what I'm thinking, I think that the fight for the North is going to end in the North. White Walkers are not going to be coming to King's Landing.
Yeah,
I think that conflict's going to resolve itself early on in the season. It's going to be done then. Coming back, because I think Jon promised to help Dany with her fight after the fight for the living and the dead. So I mean, and you have the Golden Army coming.
Yes.
So you have the Golden Army coming. I mean, it's going to be basically 2 wars back to back. I think Jamie and all of them will live. I think Jamie's going to be the one that takes down Cersei.
Okay.
I think Jamie and Cersei are going to die pretty much very closely to each other because the last season, pretty much Cersei made her plan known that she was going to swing in from behind when they were fighting the White Walkers and take still try to take land. She wasn't going to play, and help. So I think what it's going to be is her plan's going to backfire on her. The White Walkers are going to get through. They're going to I think the White Walkers will get to her. Jamie will be there, see it happen. And then he'll pretty much have a blood rage and just start killing as many as he can. But ultimately he'll fall too in the same battle. Yeah. I think it's going to be that 3rd, maybe 4th episode, something like that's going to happen, and it's going to end them.
See, I think, kind of like what Sean said, everything. The White Walkers, I don't think will get to King's Landing. I think that they do that, and then they go over to King's Landing, Dany, Jon, and Jamie, and all of them, whoever's still alive at that point, goes to King's Landing. And I think Dany wants to be the one that kills Cersei.
Mm-hmm.
but I think Jamie says that he has to do it, and I think Jamie ends up killing her. And I don't know if Jamie dies too, but I think Jamie's going to end up being the one who takes her down, because I think he's going to be the only one that's able to get close enough to her to be able to do it.
Well, here's the thing: is that you just had me thinking too. Don't forget, she's on Arya's list, and Arya
Yes.
could wear Jamie's face
This is true.
and come and get close enough to her.
Give me straight up stole what I was about to say, dude.
Dude, that would be.
I didn't even
badass.
think about that.
Yeah, because she's on the list. Arya needs that big kill. Because
Maybe that's what happens. Maybe
Jamie's dead. Maybe Jamie's already died.
But maybe either that or maybe even not. Maybe Jamie's like, I can't do it. Someone else has to.
Yeah.
And she goes as him to do it.
And she can get in close that way.
Yeah.
Now, other than him banging,
We're cracking the code here. We're cracking the code.
Other than him banging his sister, Jamie's one of my favorite characters in the show.
Okay.
Just because he's from that previous line of kings that we don't really know about, Bobby B taking down, the previous Targaryens. I like how he took down the previous king.
Yeah.
He's got that kind of a lore to him. So
Kingslayer.
Oh yeah, always kind of rooting for him a little bit, just not Cersei.
See,
and his arc was interesting too throughout the entire show. I mean, he goes from being a glorified warrior to having everything taken away when he gets his hand lopped off when he's with oh my god, I'm drawing a blank. Yes, Brienne of Tarth. And he has to go through learning how to sword fight again with his opposite hand. Yeah. And then from then on, he kind of, you could tell his personality changes. He's not like a total, Targaryen dickhead anymore. He starts realizing oh shit, some of the stuff we're doing isn't totally right. You could tell in season 7, when he's at these battles, he's not totally he's kind of questioning things, and he's seeing that Cersei's kind of turning and becoming mad.
Yes.
True. Yeah.
So with all these characters that we've discussed dying, who do you think is the first major character to fall in the season? And I'll bet I have a different answer than all of you.
I want to say Bran.
Bran?
Yeah.
Why?
First major character, I feel like maybe a secret invasion of Winterfell happens. Maybe Bran's out by the tree. You
think they kill him?
Maybe.
Who kills him?
White Walker.
White Walker.
Maybe the Night King. Because, him and the Night King locked eyes before. You know what I mean? And when they're in the cave. So maybe the Night King comes and kills Bran to get rid of, the informant of, because he's the one saying they're coming. He sees them. He knows where they're at. So maybe Bran's the first one that gets,
Mm-hmm.
Jim?
I'm going off, I think, because George R.R. Martin's got 4 main characters that he considers his kids, which are, is it Arya, Jon, Daenerys, and what's the other one? I'm forgetting. But I think it's going to be somebody close to each one of them is going to die, which I'm thinking Sir Davos is going to die first. I think he is going Tyrion. Yeah, I think he's going to die protecting Tyrion in some sort of way from the White Walker or something. And that's going to make a lot of people mad because it's going to be the first 2 episodes, I think.
Yeah.
This is my dude.
I know. I love him, but I don't think he's making it to the end.
My first one that I think is going to die, I'm thinking it's Tyrion.
Wow, you're going against my thing.
As terrible as I think that is, and I would hate to say it, I'm not sure what else he has to do in the show. I think he's already peaked and now he's coming down. There's nothing left outside of him knowing that Jon and Dany are related and having sexual affairs.
Boat sex.
But if you look at all your major characters, he's one of the ones that comes up to me as they can knock him off and still continue with what they're doing right now. The other one would be Sansa. I think Sansa.
I
Yeah,
think Sam
I think she is. Yeah.
she can get knocked,
I
but
think
I don't
she's done
think she will.
too. Because not that I mean, in Game of Thrones, you never know who's actually going to die. Like that's the part that makes it fun.
Mhm.
You could think it's going one way and it's completely different. Like unless you read the books, who thought Sean Bean's character Ned Stark was going to get beheaded in the first season of? He was the most well-known actor in that show to start everything.
Mhm.
So
But he always dies though, so that's
yes, with Sean Bean
always
is a
dies.
very unlucky actor. He always
My dude has a track record.
Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones,
Everything.
whatever. But so you think, all right, so we did that. Now I had over under 4 major character deaths in the whole season.
Okay.
Who's
I think
left? How many
four is a
left?
good number. Huh?
5.
Yeah, why you gotta take the one above?
No, I'm just. I was just saying. There's only 5 characters left.
Yeah, right now there's like
No, you got Cersei, Jaime, Tyrion, Sansa, Arya, Dany, Jon Snow, Bran. Who else do you have? Samwell Tarly, Sir Davos is considered
the Hound, the Mountain.
the Hound, the Mountain. So we're already at 10.
Euron Greyjoy, Theon Greyjoy, Yara Greyjoy. Yeah, like there's
15. Yeah.
a million characters
Major
still left.
characters. So
Dude, I'd up that, man. I'm saying like maybe 15 major deaths.
Oh,
really?
Yeah, man. I think this is gonna be a slaughter fest.
All right. So say we only do ones in terms of major characters. You narrow it down to Jon, Tyrion, Dany, Cersei, Jaime,
Sansa Arya.
Sansa, Arya, Bran. Do you think half of them die? Start at that. Do you think at least half of them die?
I'm saying at least 5 of them die.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I'll take the under. I'm going to say like 3. I think like 3 of them are going to die.
I want to say at least 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm taking the under. I don't think. I mean, if they killed off 4 guys, that's
In 6 episodes too. That's the thing. It's like we don't have the normal 8 or 10.
now. Granted, the episodes are more
They're longer. Yeah.
And that's the good thing about it being on HBO is it's full
Nudity.
full
Frontal.
full frontal. Which as a little break for a second, did you guys happen to see Kit on Saturday Night Live?
Yeah.
Did you see his opening?
No, I didn't.
So in his opening, he's like, "Oh, we're taking questions from the audience." And Amelia Clark was one of the audience guys, Samwell, and then Pete Davidson dressed up as a White Walker. And then his wife in real life, Rose, was in there too. And Sean, the whole family's supposedly watching you right now.
I was just going to say it.
No pressure.
Oh, Sam, Matt, yeah, they're there.
And it also the chat also says Matt sucks. So
yes, the chat.
Oh, nice. There we go. Yeah.
So he's doing the questions. So Amelia Clark was the first one, and she goes, "Can you tell me just a hint of what happens in the show?" And he's like, "You're in the show. You should know." She's like, "Well, I forget." And he's like, "Yeah, well, I can't say anything." And that's like the common theme with everyone is, "Oh, I can't say anything." So then she goes, "Well, do you remember when we had sex at the end of last season?" And he goes, "Yes." And she goes, "Did you know they filmed it?"
That's awesome.
And then like Samwell says, like, "Could we still be friends after the show?" And he's like, "Yeah, of course." And he goes, "All right, well, how about next Tuesday I come over your house, say 6 a.m. and we'll hang out." He's like, "Well, I'm busy." He's like, "You changed, Kit. You changed."
speaking of Sam, do you think Sam's going to die?
I don't. And I hope not. Samwell's my boy. I love Samwell. I have a Samwell little statue thing.
I don't know, man. I think everyone,
everyone's on the chopping block. Literally anybody can die.
I feel like in that third episode, man, like everyone's picking a sword up.
I think anyone could die except for John.
Sam killed a White Walker.
Yes.
Like
He
the first one
doesn't
too.
fully know it.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I feel like anyone can die.
Yeah, I think Sam's going to make it to the end. I think Sam's like the author of the books. Like he's the one that's
Yeah.
telling the story later.
Sam's George R. Martin.
Yeah. Yeah.
Essentially.
Possible. They're big enough.
Guys.
I heard a theory actually about that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So moving on, there's a legend that we've been hinted of, in almost I think every season except probably the first or second. Azor, I'm gonna
Azor Ahai.
Azor Ahai.
Yeah.
We don't know who he is or she is, but the prophecy says that they're coming. So the popular theory is that it's Dany, that's who she is. Who do you guys think it is, and why do you think they are that person? Or do you think nobody's them yet? Do you think it's a whole different person coming?
I don't think it's anyone in the show. It could
No?
be. Yeah, I could be.
Do you think it's just
I don't even think it's a person. Maybe it's like an
do you
event.
think it's just a legend?
Yeah.
See, I think I tend to go with the popular belief that it's Dany.
Okay.
That's my opinion. Mainly because if Jon Snow is the one that's supposed to rule and he's the Targaryen blood, what's Dany? What's her place in all this? Why is she still alive? Why did she survive all this stuff? What's her purpose? Because it kind of muddles that now that Jon Snow is technically the person. Because the whole time you're like, okay, Daenerys is supposed to be on this throne.
I don't think it does. I mean, if you look at it this way, Targaryen bloodlines have always been just Targaryen. So what Jaime and Cersei have been doing, that's what Targaryen's been doing.
Yes.
So, Jon and Daenerys are Targaryen blood.
Yes.
Maybe they create the heir.
So do you think Jon technically is the king and she's your queen?
I think they're gonna be king. I mean, all right, in a like,
Because technically they could, according to in the Targaryen family, they, like you said, they always
inbred.
Lines
Yeah.
pure.
Mm-hmm.
Except for obviously Jon Snow.
Yeah.
So technically she could be his queen because they could be.
But he's got a stronger claim because he's the son of.
Yeah, I know. That's my point. Jon Snow's on the throne.
So what I'm thinking is they have a baby, and that's gonna be like the absolute next ruler.
Yeah.
I think they have a son. I think she'll be pregnant because they in the do you remember the season 7 episode where they all meet up in that dragon pit and then like Daenerys lands with the dragons and all that, and Jon and Daenerys are talking, and she said, I was told by like a witch that I wasn't able to have kids anymore, and then he's like, are you sure about that? And then they kind of leave it off like that. It kind of like gives you like a little bit of a.
He was like, yeah, I'm gonna put a baby in you.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah. And then he tries.
Yeah, I don't think that one time was enough. I think we need to see it 2 or 3 more times.
I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing it a couple more times.
What do you think, Jim?
I'm not paying for HBO for any reason other than that.
Yeah,
you start paying for some Skinamax.
I canceled my Pornhub subscription for HBO.
Sacrifices. You're making them sacrifice.
Sacrifices.
Exactly.
No, Sean, you kind of took the words out of my mouth. I do think they're going to have a baby. And I think maybe in the books it would have been that child becomes the hero to take down the White Walkers, and they've just kind of like expedited the whole plot line of this.
We don't have that kind of time.
Yeah, I think it may be like Jon Snow because I just keep thinking of his sword because like I'm just reading like the wiki on here and it says Azor Ahai is a legendary hero who will wield a burning sword called Lightbringer.
So Lightbringer's already in the show, though.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
So
the thing. Yeah.
yeah.
Jon Snow has it.
Yeah.
No.
Who has it?
No. Remember, the guy. Oh my God.
D-
The guy who kept dying and getting brought
yeah.
back. He has like the thing over his eye, and he like lights the sword on fire. That's
Oh,
Lightbringer.
yeah.
I forget his name. It's killing me
But
now.
doesn't Jon Snow have it now?
No. Jon Snow still has. No. Yeah. He still has.
Yeah. What's the sword for him?
Oh my God. Jorah Mormont's sword. It's the Mormont family sword.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well,
I thought, for some reason, that he...
No. Yeah, Lightbringer was. I'm looking. I'm on the IMDb right now. I'm looking at the trying to look for the character's name. Ugh. Maybe it's Grandmaster Pycelle.
well, is that guy still technically alive, even though he keeps?
Yeah, he's alive.
So
He's
he could
alive.
have
The other guy died. The guy who kept bringing him back to life was killed.
yes. So I think he could have a part. Maybe he passes his sword on to
He could.
whoever.
Like I said, there was that still shot of Jon Snow's sword in the snow, like
Mhm.
buried. So, I mean, it could be that he gets Lightbringer.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah, but Jon Snow's my bet for it. Well, it'd be cool to see Daenerys too.
It'd be cool if like they joined forces, like if Daenerys like actually backed off and like was like cool with being queen while Jon was king. I mean, she kind of fought too hard to get to where she's at, so maybe there will be some kind of like standoff there. Maybe either one of them die. I mean, who knows at this point?
I think it may be like the thing where I think they may like split up the kingdom and let each person rule. And like sometimes like one person takes the north, one person takes the south, or something. I don't know. Like,
I mean, that's how it is now. You know, the Wardens of the North. I mean,
yeah.
But I don't think it can function like that.
no.
Because you need one. That's like if you split the United States, you had the Northeast run itself, the Southeast run itself, the Midwest run itself, the Southwest run itself. It just wouldn't work. Because at some point, the Northeast might fight the Midwest.
Yeah.
Then what do you do? Does
Yeah,
the Northeast just take over the Midwest at some point?
Who knows?
I don't think that works like that. You need to have, but at the same time, this whole show's over because people, I belong on the Iron Throne.
Yeah.
So you need someone to take that Iron Throne.
Yeah.
I think one of the dragons could like melt the Iron Throne as like a symbol
That
of
would be cool.
yeah.
Yeah, like just take it out.
If Dany dies, it's going to be because of her dragons. She's going to die either protecting one of her dragons or trying to get the ice dragon back.
Do you remember? I don't know what season it was in, but she was. Might have been like season 2. She was like she saw a vision. It was like when the guy steals her dragons.
Yeah.
Like running through and he's like she's like seeing these illusions, and one of the illusions was she was in the Iron Throne, like in the room with the Iron Throne, and snow was falling in the room. Do you think that's a metaphor for, she gets close to the Iron Throne, but Jon Snow is the one who eventually like
Maybe
takes it? Maybe it could be like a metaphor as to like I don't know, him overpowering her. Maybe something like that happens.
I think like with them, I think the only way Daenerys dies is childbirth, and I hate them to see them go back on that. But I think it may be because, like you said, she can't have children. Maybe that's it. Maybe she dies, childbirth or something.
Jon Snow's left as a single parent.
Yeah, single parent ruling the Iron Kingdom.
Too much. That's too much stress. I don't like it.
And then I don't know who he hooks up with.
Yeah, I know, right? Everyone he loved is like dead.
Well, that's part of the either win or you die.
Yeah. Now, did you guys see this theory? I saw a theory today involving Tyrion, actually, and
That he gets the Iron Throne.
no, going back to when they visit like Cersei to discuss terms, and they show her the White Walker that they captured.
Mhm.
He goes off by himself because Cersei doesn't agree to help them. She walks away. He's like, "Hold on, I'll go talk to her," and like they're like, "Oh my God, you're gonna die!" But he comes back fine. it doesn't show the whole conversation that they have. So he goes off and talks to her. They start negotiating and talking, and he comes back by himself. It doesn't show any of the conversation. And then he says, she's agreed to help us. Then they leave. And then she obviously reveals like her true intentions to Jamie, which shocks Jamie. And Jamie is like, all right, I'm out of here. What I saw was that in that conversation, there's a good possibility that Tyrion decided to side with Cersei and is going to betray everyone in the North and Dany.
I would be heartbroken.
I would be heartbroken too.
Yeah, that would definitely be a switch, a hard switch.
Yeah, I didn't read the whole thing, but I mean that's. Sorry, my dog's like attacking me. That is where that's a turning point that I would not have seen coming if they do choose to go that way. But I think it'd be cool. Mm-hmm. I mean, at this point, to see Tyrion get this far with Daenerys, and then just go back on his word.
But I don't know why he would team up with Cersei.
No, I know, but it was one of the theories.
Mm-hmm. Just makes me curious. But if that happened, I would be completely devastated.
I think if he did something like that, it would just be a ruse for Daenerys, like to gain her trust while, ultimately getting help for.
We got First Class in here said Sansa's going to be the one to take out Daenerys.
Sansa going to take her out?
Well, I mean, if you look at the clip that they released, Sansa kind of looks at her like, bruh.
You think? I don't know. I know she's definitely not happy that she's there.
Yes.
Yeah, going back to like people that are going to die, I think Sansa's going to die pretty early on.
She's been through a lot too. The whole Stark family's really.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we already lost so many of the Starks. It's like, can they really kill off another one with?
Yeah, I mean, the Stark family in general's on the rebound right now. If they just start slaying more Starks, it's not a.
I think going to the Starks, like how much longer do you think Theon's got left? I mean, he's already got no penis, and like he's
poor guy.
Cut off his peen.
He had his redemption kind of with his.
But thank you for the input, First Class. By the way, sorry.
Mm-hmm. No, because I was thinking with Sansa, if she does stick around, obviously they're going to have to show what happens, kind of like with her kingdom, like if she's going to marry somebody from another kingdom to continue the Stark line. So I'm trying to think of like who that would be that could like fill in that role.
I'm not sure, like anyone. Technically, I think she's still married to Tyrion.
That's true.
I mean, even though she was married off to Joffrey and also, oh my God, what was his name?
Ramsay Bolton.
Yeah, Ramsay Bolton.
Oh yeah.
So she's been whored off a couple times.
I don't think they really care about marriage agreements and.
No,
well, I'm just thinking because what was the son of Bobby B that they picked up like 2 seasons ago? We haven't heard much of him.
The guy with the axe?
Yeah, with the big.
I think him and Arya.
You think it's gonna be him and Arya?
Yeah, him and Arya have a thing going.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so yeah, I was thinking too because if Sansa dies, who's going to take over for the Starks? If not, Jon, because I mean he's a bastard, but I mean he could run Winterfell, but.
I think at the end it's going to be Jon Snow, Iron Throne, Sansa in the North. What other ones am I missing?
That's it.
Well, we got the Greyjoys, and we got their crazy uncle.
And the Greyjoys actually did ask for their independence to Daenerys, like in exchange for their ships. Yes. They asked for their own independence, but Daenerys said, it's not going to be complete independence. You must change your ways. Like, she's like, no more raping or thieving. Like, they're pirates.
Yeah.
They're like, no more raping.
Control of the 7 Isles.
Yeah. She said, you can't live like that anymore. And Yara agreed, and they shook on it. So if Yara lives.
Yara will be the one that takes
Yeah,
it.
if Yara lives, so we'll see.
Yeah.
I mean,
Definitely ain't gonna be Theon.
Theon's on the up. I mean, he's at the end of
Theon
like
sucks.
his arc is changing. I
I
mean,
hate
he was up, then he went down, then he went even farther down, and now he's on his way back up.
You can't rebound from having your penis cut off.
Yeah, it's hard to do it,
That's
Dickless,
true.
but still.
You can't.
That's actually what you're in my phone as, Jim Dickless.
Oh, awesome.
So if you had Yara there, Sansa in the north, like what the Starks have always done.
See, I would think Sansa dies. Maybe Jon gets the throne, Gendry gets the north. With Arya.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like,
And then Dany takes
Dany might be dead.
south.
Dany might die. Maybe. There's so many like theories and speculations. Like so many things can happen.
yeah, I don't really think though Dany's going to die. I think it's going to be her and Jon are going to rule together.
I can't see her doing that though. I can't see her just allowing that to happen. She's been through. I mean, they've both been through a lot, but I mean, like she was a slave raped by Khal Drogo. Like,
I think Jon will like yield the throne to her because I think it's something that he doesn't really want. Like, I think he like even if he finds out he is the rightful ruler, he'll like yield to her. Like, oh, because it'll be like his wife, and it'll be like, your wife is right, so he'll yield it to her, and she'll probably be like, let's rule it. Like, it'll be like her decision type thing. But I don't think he's going to make like a power play for the throne. I think he'll be like, I'll support you type of thing. But
First class, are you talking about Lord Varys?
maybe Varys. Maybe betraying Dany also.
Mm-hmm. Another.
Maybe like a Tyrion, and Varys, maybe both plotting against her.
Yeah, he is. That's what they meant.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's still a shady guy too.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I don't think he's a trustworthy dude, but
He's in just for his own benefit. Like,
yes.
He's looking out for number one.
He's gonna go whoever gives him the most benefit at the throne.
I mean, he's like one of the guys that's like a Littlefinger type. You know what I mean? He's doing everything for himself.
Which I hated Littlefinger, by the way. Fuck that guy.
I was so happy when he died.
Shithead.
I think Cersei will take him out. I think some way that her or like.
Yeah, I think that's what'll. I think that's kind of what'll happen. He portrays Dany for Cersei, and then Cersei ends up killing him, and in whatever fashion, she's insane.
Yeah,
that would make sense.
Yeah,
because I mean, a lot of them are still, in my opinion, secretly loyal to Cersei for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm.
Even though she just killed half the show.
Now, what about, because when you said passion, you just reminded me of Ser Jorah Mormont, because Samwell Tarly cured his dragon.
Yes.
Dragon scale.
Dragon scale, yeah. And he's coming back. So, do you think he's going to throw a wrench in the works between Jon and Daenerys, or do you think? I kind of think he's going to probably die before he gets back, or something like that.
Maybe he sees Jon and Dany, and he leaves out of anger and goes and joins Cersei. At this point, I view it as you're either on one of three teams. You're either on Team White Walker, you're either on Team Cersei, or you're on Team Jon and Dany. And there's no in between. You have to be on one of them because there's three different collisions about to happen, and you got to do your allegiance. Now, Team Jon and Dany has the most notable ones right now, but doesn't mean they stay there.
Yeah.
If Jorah moves though to Cersei, I think Sean will be upset.
Will.
Yeah, just a thought. That's all.
No, I think that's a good. I think that's a good thought because I didn't even think about that. But to see him like change teams over that after being loyal to her and like going to try and get cured and stuff for forever,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
or maybe Danny says, "John, see ya."
I don't think so. I mean, Jorah's already back. You know what I mean? Jorah's already met John. John, he was with John when
Yeah.
Dragon died. I mean, Jorah's got to see what's going on.
Yeah, I think he's going to definitely fight for them, and I think that'll be his downfall. Or
He dies.
if he dies, I mean, he may just be loyal to them forever and just have a boner for her for the rest of his life.
Now, do you think we see anybody of relevance in the White Walker army?
I mean, people that come to mind is maybe Uncle Benjen.
Benjen?
We don't know. I mean, he looked like he was already like undead. You don't really find out what happened to him, but he shows up he's in the first episode, completely normal. And then when you see him, I think you only see him one or two more times throughout the show, and he looks dead. Like he's
Yes.
like maybe like half White Walker, but like with a mind of his own. I'm not sure. So I don't know if it comes to him because he saves John at the end of the final episode, or not the final episode, one of the final episodes.
I think we see a Hodor White Walker.
Oh,
that's a good one. That's a good one.
All right,
that'll be a rough one. That'll be a tearjerker.
Yeah.
Now I can't remember. Did we get that that ogre, that big orc guy? Did we get to see him as a White Walker? Because he went down.
We did, yeah.
A couple giants died.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you see them when they're showing the crowds of White Walkers.
Yeah, I thought we did.
You see a couple giant ones walking. So.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. First Class said they said to rewatch season 1 more than the others to prepare. Varys has ties to Essos, and Sansa was quoted as saying all she's ever wanted was to be queen.
Ooh.
Oh.
Talking about Sansa betrayal here.
Do you think Sansa would have the ovaries to overthrow Jon and Dany? And
I mean, if Jon doesn't punch her right in the ovary, I'm not sure.
I don't know.
I don't know.
First Class said both are going to be shady. No, I agree. That's what I'm saying with that clip they showed. Is she looks shady in that little clip, that little 30-second clip when they introduce, when they see each other, she looks like fuck this.
I'm a little skeptical on that because they did that kind of last season throughout the episodes between her and Arya and Littlefinger, and eventually it turned that they were just plotting against Littlefinger. So it could be the same thing. They're going to do the same thing with Varys and eventually catch him in a lie again.
Yeah, maybe they're more prepared for it because Sansa. What you could tell, Sansa was easily manipulated by Littlefinger constantly. She kind of always was this guy's a little weird, but she still always kind of moved the way he wanted her to up until that point. I mean, he thought he had Arya. He thought he was going to be able to get her killed, but tables turned.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, we'll see. I mean, she's definitely impressionable.
Yeah, she is, but I think I'd be kind of mad if they went back to that because they kind of ended that last season. I feel like it was no, they trust each other now. She's grown. She's more of an adult. So I hope they don't go back and make that her downfall. But I mean, it's a possibility.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the throne changes people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it does.
Close to it. But she has to know she's not the rightful person to be sitting there.
That hasn't stopped anyone else.
Yeah, but it's her brother.
Still.
I think she will rule the North. She's going to be queen of the North. Yeah, I don't think it'll be I don't think it'll be Arya. I think she'll get her way and she'll meet her prince this episode. Maybe it's Gentry or whatever the dude with the axe's name is.
First Class said she's tired of being trampled over.
True. But yeah, I think she'll step up. I think she'll kind of get her dreams.
Just think about it. Out of all the Stark, she's the only one that doesn't have anything cool going on.
Mm-hmm.
Bran's the Three-Eyed Raven. Arya became the
faceless
lady with no face. Jon Snow's Jon Snow.
He's banging his aunt. That's a good thing.
And, what's
Having
his
boat
name?
sex.
Rob is already dead. So
R.I.P.
Yeah.
out of all the Starks, she's the only one left that hasn't done anything or have anything going for them.
No, I have another kind of little theory going back to like you were saying on who's going to kill Cersei, and like how I said Arya would wear like Jamie Lannister's face. And my wife's actually, this is kind of her theory. She said it earlier, but I kind of just put it together. Like, what if she did like Bobby B's face? Like she came in as like Bobby Baratheon to like her chambers and just like screwed and then killed her that way.
I like how you casually just keep dropping Bobby B.
I love Bobby B, man. When I put this on YouTube, Bobby B with lasers coming out of his eyes is going to be the picture.
Bobby B with freaking laser beams attached to his head.
Bobby B. Good old
No,
Bobby
that'd be
B.
cool. I mean, it would definitely be like a mindfuck kind of for Cersei.
Yeah.
That would
That'd
be.
be cool.
Now, question: if she becomes Bobby B, does she get a penis?
No.
I don't know. Maybe.
Do you think she was the janitor from Hogwarts when she was him? Do you think she had his penis? I don't think so.
I don't know.
I forget his name.
Does she wear a fat suit though when she is him? That's
Maybe.
I don't know how the magic works.
I don't know how it works. Is it like magic? It's got to be magic.
It's
Something.
perception.
Yeah.
That's all.
But I mean, that was it for the anything I had written down. If any of you guys in chat right now, any 10 of you have any questions, feel free to drop them to us. Is there anything else that you guys wanted to say?
Jim, why don't you talk about Blades? Because I couldn't download it. My phone it said it was my like the game wasn't compatible for my device. So I don't know.
What Android are you running?
8.
Oh, really? Yeah, you should be able to run it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I was in the store and it said your device can't run this game, and it said I think it's still in beta or something like that. It said it's not out for every like thing yet. So
Well, they did just open it up to everybody. That's why I told you guys. But I mean, I'll talk more about it next episode. But it's pretty much Elder Scrolls. It's like Morrowind, Skyrim, whatever else on your phone. It's really good so far. It's running really well. I'm not running into any issues, and usually with them, you get some bugs and weird crap happening. But it's been pretty
Now,
good.
is there any games coming out next week?
There is something, and I can't remember. But I just wanted to give a shout out to, I don't know who First Class is, but thanks for asking questions and
Yes,
being part of the
First
chat and
Class.
stuff like that.
thanks for being active in the chat.
Yeah.
First Class. I don't know if you subscribe to us on YouTube, but all of our previous podcasts are also on YouTube. And we're on Spotify and Apple Music.
Maybe Spotify. Spotify's been giving me so many issues. So as of right now, we're not on Spotify.
RIP.
But you can also tune in every week on Twitch, same channel, twitch.tv/SpiderStags. And we broadcast a new podcast every Sunday night.
Shameless plug.
Sometimes Monday if Reader messes us up.
Yeah, no,
Oh, I'm
he's
sorry.
got a baby-
I have
he's
to
got a
get
baby
ready for the
coming.
goddamn baby.
I'm looking at this. I don't think there's anything really big. We got like Phoenix Wright coming out.
Don't even know what that is.
Yeah, it's not much until like next week, until the following week.
And that's Days Gone, right?
2 weeks.
2 weeks, yeah.
Comes out the same day as Endgame.
Ooh,
Endgame takes precedence.
First Class
Do
asks,
we ever take callers?
Yeah.
No, we don't have a phone line set up. But
Come on, Jim.
we could do. I could see.
yeah,
if I
come
can-
on, Jim, get a phone line set up.
It's gonna be nothing but telemarketers and people yelling penis.
We normally just do questions throughout this chat stream.
Yeah, you can just message us on this chat roulette stream that we do.
Yeah, on this chat stream, and we answer it that way. You could also feel free if you have any questions, like during the beginning of the week, we normally do a gaming podcast. If you have any questions about gaming or anything as well, You can feel free to DM me on Twitch, so we have the questions beforehand as well. If there's anything you think of or want us to talk about, we can do that as well. Or you can message our YouTube, and it'll go directly to Jim. So Jim will see that. And First Class, I appreciate you with the follow.
Yeah. Now we are. Remind me, the Game of Thrones.
Hey, yes, starts... First Class, I appreciate the sub with Twitch Prime.
Yeah, thank you.
Cut off, Jimmy.
Sorry, I didn't.
No, it's okay. No, Game of Thrones. It starts. Was it next Sunday, right?
Next Sunday.
And what time is this airing at? Is it 9 o'clock or is it 10 o'clock?
I'm pretty sure it's 9, right?
Mm-hmm. It's 9. Because I was thinking. I mean, I work early Monday, but I would not be opposed to doing like a reaction thing after
every week.
Yeah, like every week for the next 6 weeks. Like we can kind of put the gaming stuff on postpone it.
Or maybe we do
that means it's good time for gaming anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
maybe we could do like a 50-50.
Yeah, like a 50-50 or something. I was going to talk to you about that, but
yeah, that's a good idea. I am down with that. First Class, I assume you're cool with that too. With the Game of Thrones. So the next 6 weeks, I'll put out a tweet about it as well. But just so everyone knowing, because I know there's some people that follow me specifically for this podcast. Yeah, that's a really good idea. I didn't even think about that. Do an instant reaction to Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
We could split it into we could do like 50-50, but like just split it up as we're talking. I'll just be like, all right, hold on, we're going to stop for a minute. I'll save it, and then we'll just go in and do another start off for the next one for gaming or something like that.
If you guys are subscribed to us on Apple or Spotify, I guess currently not Spotify right now, but YouTube, feel free to drop a comment. Let us know if that's something you guys would be looking forward to. Leave a thumbs up on the video on YouTube as well if that's something that you guys are interested in. And always feel free to drop that sub on YouTube as well, so you never miss one of our videos.
Yeah,
you're like in full streamer mode.
Well, I'm streaming, so.
I know.
But, when we record this podcast, I want to make sure everyone knows where to follow us. It's not just on my stream. We have an outlet for our podcast specifically that, I want people to know.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and I always put up the podcasts on iTunes, Google Play Music, and Podbean, which is like actually the host for us.
Yes.
I always put it up right after the episode. So within like the first 2 hours afterwards, it should be up.
And before we forget, I want to make sure we include our kind sponsor, Jim's Repair Service, correct? Service, not
yeah.
Service. They thank you First Class for subscribing to us on YouTube. Very much appreciate it.
Nice, thank you.
He said we also have the same YouTube backgrounds. Yeah, Jim's Repair Service, based in South Jersey, does heating, air,
appliances,
anything you need done around the house from a service perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Jim's dad.
Yep.
Yeah,
this is my dad.
Jim's dad.
I'll put the information in our down below our videos as usual. But he does good work. I'm selling my house right now, and I'm calling him constantly and be like, "Hey, Dad, come help me do this." And he knows how to do everything. So
Jim knows Jim's vouching for.
Yeah. And if anybody's in the market for a house, this one's going up for sale soon.
It's shameless plug on the house.
Oh
yeah. We all need to get our shameless plugs in now.
Exactly.
It's cool. So I just noticed I get notifications when someone subs to us on YouTube.
Oh, really? I probably do too. I just.
But I appreciate you subbing on YouTube. Make sure you sub on the Medium Difficulty podcast page as well. There's the link in my bio. Just click our logo. We're on that as well. I don't know if you did or not. I don't get the notification for that. But yeah, I think this wraps up this podcast. We'll do a post show on the stream, twitch.tv/SpiteOfStags. Join us for our post show. And thank you guys for tuning in. Be sure to tune in next week when we discuss immediate reaction to the first episode of the final season of Game of Thrones. Thank you guys.